A long, long time ago, in a land far away, an angel came from heaven with something special to say. The angel came to see Mary, who would soon be Joseph's wife, to share some special news that would forever change her life. The angel Gabriel, sent from God, said Mary would have God's son, and she was to call him Jesus. She was the chosen one. Mary couldn't quite believe it and wondered if it were true, but realized she was special as the baby inside her grew. Now Joseph was honourable, a kind man and a clever carpenter, who loved Mary so dearly he couldn't understand who else she might prefer. The problem here, you see, was that Mary was expecting without yet being married, and so caused Joseph much reflecting. It was God who sent the angel Gabriel again with a message that was meant to relieve poor Joseph's pain, to still his worried heart, and tell him he needed to play his part. A night very soon after, Joseph had an unusual dream in which God's angel Gabriel appeared. He told him to marry Mary, as there was nothing to be feared. When Joseph awoke, he made very sure their life together would begin, for this was God's holy plan for how to rid this world from sin. Mary and Joseph were called away. A census was to be taken, and with the baby nearly due, they were feeling rather shaken. They had to travel many miles to a town so far away, all the way to Bethlehem, getting more tired by the day. The donkey carried Mary along the dusty road, the donkey getting weary carrying a heavy load. They couldn't wait to reach the town and finally get some rest. Their long and tiring journey had really been a test. They had to find a place to stay so Mary could rest her head, but Bethlehem was busy and they couldn't find a bed. They knocked on doors around the town, but were always turned away, searching high and low for a place that they could stay. Everywhere was full. What were they going to do? Until one helpful innkeeper said, "I might have a space for you." The space was a stable, a bed made out of hay. But Mary and Joseph were happy. At last they had somewhere to stay. Some shepherds watched their sheep that night, on a hillside quite nearby, when suddenly they saw a light blinding in the sky. They turned towards the light and could not believe their eyes. An angel appeared before them, the light filling up the skies. the angel had some news to share about the birth of a special boy, Jesus, the Son of God, sent to spread love and joy. The angel told them where to go and not to be afraid, to make their way to the stable where the baby Jesus stayed. They left their sheep in the fields to graze and quickly hurried along. They trembled with excitement and their hearts were filled with song. The journey was a scurry. They knew they needed to hurry, for they wanted to see this baby who had been born to be king. But oh, what a dilemma! What kind of gift could they bring? They were poor and lowly people, not of a high-class standing at all. But this did not matter to God. His Son was born for all. The gifts they were to take along were not something that they could hold. It was the deep, warm feeling in their hearts which they shared with others of this story that they retold. The heavenly hosts appeared so bright on this very holy night, and today their message is just as true. It is one especially for you, that God has so much love to share. It's free to each of us. If only you would take this gift, over which He made such a fuss. On that night, far away in the east, 3 wise men looked up and gazed, when suddenly they spotted something strange. They stared, confused and amazed. They saw a star shining bright that had not been there before, a star they knew was special, and they wanted to know more. They studied their scrolls and soon discovered what the star was trying to show: the birth of a great ruler with its bright and shining glow. They decided to meet the new ruler, setting off on their way, but before they made the journey, a visit to King Herod they would pay. King Herod was very jealous and sent them off to find the king with orders to return when good news they could bring. The wise men began their journey, travelling through the night, making their way to Bethlehem with the star as their guiding light. They arrived at the stable to find the baby. What a sight to behold! They brought him special gifts of frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Later that night, they had a dream where an angel did appear, a warning not to return to Herod, or great danger would be near. They decided to protect the Son of God and did not return to the palace, as they knew King Herod felt under threat and his actions would be callous. Jesus was born later that night, a manger for his bed, wrapped in a blanket and surrounded by hay, as he slept and rested his head. Mary rocked and held him gently, cradling the baby in her arm, with a mother's protective instinct to keep him safe from harm. This baby was very special, a gift sent from God above, so he could spread his message about kindness, care, and love. So in a stable our Messiah was born, no riches for our King, just the lowing of the animals, and where the angels came to sing. As you gaze upon this scene and listen to the story being told, we hope that you will know God's peace that will never grow old. It was a very special night indeed. Impossible, some might concede, but whatever your belief or understanding, fantasy or fairy tale, we pray that you would remember the one truest detail of God's immense love for each one of us, so much so that he was born, sent from heaven above in love, to heal this world so forlorn. When the wise men did not return, King Herod got rather cross and ordered all baby boys in Bethlehem to be killed to keep him boss. But Joseph had a dream one night. An angel appeared once more, telling him to leave Bethlehem, a message he could not ignore. He took them away to Egypt, somewhere they could be safe at last, where King Herod wouldn't find them, and the threat of danger passed. This is the story of Christmas that Christians hold so dear, which is why they like to celebrate December 25th each year. Christmas is a time for family to be happy, merry and bright, but also time for Christians to think what happened in Bethlehem that night. We say a final farewell, sending you back into the world today with the message of God's love to guide you along each step of your way.